Welcome back to Diving Into Watches. And man, do we got a really cool review for you today. But before we get into that review, as I stated last week, because we hit over 1,000 subscribers, we were doing the giveaway of the Casio Duro and the Invicta chronograph, quartz chronograph. So I'm going to announce the winner here real quick, and then we will jump into this awesome review of a Seiko Willard SPB153 J1. And we're going to kind of compare it to the Seiko King Turtle, which I have, and we'll tell you which one I think I like the best and if I'm going to add a Willard to the collection or not. But let's get to the winner first, because I know a lot of you made a lot of comments, and I appreciate it. We're getting a lot of subscribers now, which is awesome. So without further ado, I had to write it down. The winner of the two watches is Boogeyman3651. I will reach out to you through comments, and then I'll coordinate with you on email to get you those watches and get them mailed out to you by this weekend, or no later than the Monday following this drop. So congratulations. Thank you to everybody who commented. I appreciate it. Nothing but fabulous comments. I think there was only one turd in the bunch, but you know what? Every party has a pooper, and someone's always going to be a pooper in mine, but that's okay. It helps the algorithm, and I love it. So congratulations to you. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all the support. So without further ado, let's jump into this review. As I indicated, we are going to do a review of the Seiko Captain Willard. This is not my personal watch. This is on loan to me from a good friend, Matt. Thank you very, very much. We are going to take a deep and in-depth look at this one, the history of it behind it, and compare it to a Seiko King Turtle, which is probably going to be the closest you're going to get as far as quality to the Willard. There is some differences. There's some things that are probably maybe people like a little more on the King Turtle, and there's some things that people will like more about the Captain Willard, and we will go into those. I mean, the big love thing about the Captain Willard, I don't know how anybody would not know, but obviously is the connection to Apocalypse Now, and how it was worn by Martin Sheen, by Captain Willard, who was obviously sent on the mission up the river, and he wore a Seiko.
I'm still only in Saigon. Every time I think I'm going to wake up back in the jungle.
Turtle in that movie, and that made this particular watch very, very popular. This watch was available. I don't remember. I think it was. I can't. I'll put the exact nomenclature of the watch that was available during Vietnam. The King Turtle watch that was available. This is obviously a reinterpretation, a recreation of it. There was two that were made. They were called the Captain Willards. One was black dial, black bezel, and then you have this one we're taking a look at, as they're calling it the military version, obviously because it's kind of an OD green, OD green dial and an OD green bezel. Fabulous history to these two watches. Even though it's a fictional character, it draws in a time and a period that is true to when that watch was. But this is a fantastic watch. I still think is highly relevant in Seiko's lineup. And I think it's worth plunking down the money possibly and getting it. But let's jump over to the bench. Let's take a look at the dimensions and the backstory of the Captain Willard, and then we'll kind of show you the differences between the Seiko King Turtle and the Seiko Willard, and what's good on both, what's kind of I don't like on either, what I like on one, what I don't like on the other, and ultimately, will I try to pick up a Willard and add it to my collection? So without further ado, let's take a look at the Captain Willard. Okay, here we are over on the bench, taking a look at the Captain Willard in a more up close and personal view. And before we get into all the coolness of this watch and the backstory of it, let's go ahead and get in the dimensions real quick. It is a case dimension of 42.7 millimeters. It is a lug to lug of 46.6 millimeters, a case thickness of 13.2 millimeters. It is a caliber 6R35, so it's going to give you 70 hours of power reserve, which is a huge difference over the 4R36 in the King Turtle, which is only going to give you 40. It is a sapphire glass that is a bezeled, 45-degree bezeled, which gives it a little more classiness, some more dressiness to it. And it is also a Divers 200, so it is an ISO certified watch, and it has a date window at the 3 o'clock. And then it is an aluminum bezel. It is not a ceramic insert. And then you have a coin edge bezel. As I said, you have drilled end links. You have a bead blasted case. And then you have a polished sides. This particular model comes on a black silicone strap, but the owner of this one wanted a metal bracelet, so he got a factory Seiko bracelet that would be match the one if you would have got the black version. It comes on the metal bracelet, and he got the metal bracelet, and he has it on it. So it also in the back, it is a screw down case back, and it has the Seiko wave, and then the Seiko information, and then the Prospex logo on it. And then you can see the green dial with the sword hands, and then the famous stoplight seconds hand, which is well known for. The indices are applied. There is a printed minute track around the inside. The automatic and the diver's 200 is printed. And then then you've got the typical turtle crown guard here. We'll pull the other turtle over here in a second and take a look at it, look at the comparisons. The bracelet that it came on, that he has it on, is a double deployment milled clasp with a fold over safety. One of the things that's kind of off a little bit on these, but I think you can take a pair of pliers and pinch these a little bit, is the clasp is just a little loose, but that's not a deal killer. That's easily adjustable. You have 4 micro adjustments, and then it looks like, let's take a look here. Let me go on this side. It looks like, yeah, it's a pin and collar. So these are not screw in. These are not screw in links. These are pin and collar links, which is not a deal killer. And then the end links you have solid end links. And then with the drilled end links, it makes it very, very easy to change out the band very, very easily. And then you have the crown, which is not a signed crown, which I think the King Turtle is. No, the King Turtle is not signed also, but they're very similar to that. So let's bring in the King Turtle, and let's take a look at the two side by side. So case-wise, they're very, very obviously very, very similar. One of the huge noticeably differences, ones you can instantly see, is right here in the crown guard. The Willard has a much more prominent crown guard than the King Turtle does. The coin edge bezel is much different than the, I want to say kind of a gear-toothed on the King Turtle. And then you obviously have the Cyclops, which a lot of people do not like on the King Turtle, which you don't have that here. But you can see that the date on the Seiko Willard is very legible, very readable. I like that. The hands are obviously different. I think I like the hands of the Willard better. It's more traditional to the original. And then obviously the King Turtle has the grenade style dial. And then you have the ceramic insert versus the aluminum insert. A lot of people like the ceramic. A lot of people like the aluminum. Some people don't like the ceramic because it's shiny and the aluminum is not. I guess that's all comes down to personal preference. The King Turtle obviously has the drilled end links, just like the Willard does. And then you have the screw down case back, just like you do on the Willard on there. So similar, but a little bit different as far as the overall designs. I think the aesthetics of the Willard are nicer than the King Turtle. I like that it's not as busy. I can see why people don't like the Cyclops, because now I'm looking at one without the Cyclops, and I actually prefer it without the Cyclops. I have seen people take theirs off the King Turtle. I wouldn't take mine off. I would just leave it because that's original to the watch. But I can see how Seiko has definitely kept to the originality of the very first Turtle and kept with what they were trying to do with it. And I like what they have done with this one. I like that they have the beveled sapphire glass on here. You get the sapphire glass on the King Turtle. The aluminum bezel insert does not bother me. I think probably the biggest difference between the two of these is going to be the price point. On the Seiko website, this is $1,300, and I think on the Seiko website, the King Turtle is $550 or $600. But obviously, you can find these at lower prices through regular retailers. I know through Exquisite Timepieces, I think you can find this for $1,000, and I think the King Turtle you can get down, in the $450 range new, probably in the $300 used. I think Matt picked this one up on the secondhand market and got around $800. So you can definitely pick one of these up. And this is in fantastic condition for it. So I think that if you didn't want to pay the full retail and have one brand new, you can definitely still pick one of these up on a secondary market, probably in that $800 to $1,000 price range, depending on condition. Another huge difference is the movement. This is the 6R35 and the King Turtle is the 4R36. So with that, with the King Turtle, you're getting 40 hours of power reserve. With this one, you're getting 70 hours of power reserve, and that's huge. I like having a lot of power reserve in automatics. I know my Tudor Pelagos FXD is a 70-hour power reserve, which is nice. So you can definitely set this down for more than 2 days and know that it's still going to be ticking and going. We will make sure to get some wrist shots. So let's go ahead and kill the lights. Let's get a lume. It is super lumen over bright, but I want you to see how the lume looks on the Willard. You can see the super lumen over bright is just absolutely killer. I barely hit any lume on this one, and it just took off and glowed like a torch. So again, you know what Seiko's famous for is that super lumen over bright, and it definitely does not fail here. You've got the loomed indices, the sword hands, and then the pip at the end of the seconds hand, and then at the 12 o'clock pip it is loomed also. So you're going to get a good quality lume, and it's going to last a long time. So that is definitely excellent. So let's go back. Let's go ahead and turn back on the lights, and let's focus on the time grapher and see how a 6R35 is doing. Okay, here we are. It's running. First test says plus 19, but it's reading 0 seconds, 142 amplitude, 0.1 on the beat error. Second test, 0 seconds. Third test, minus 7 seconds. Fourth test is 0 seconds. We'll let it run through a second test here. You got -4. Second one, -4. Third test, -1. And fourth and final test, -1. So I think overall, the 6R35, you know, considering this watch has not been worn at all, I picked this up for him today, and it's been sitting in the box. And like anything, once you've worn it and it's been fully wound, it's going to run a lot better than when it's just, you know, wound up by hand in the last 10 minutes and thrown on a time grapher. But you can see 0 seconds, 139 amplitude, 0.1 beat error, 0, -4, -1, -1. That's within cost certifications. That's almost METAS certifications on the 6R35. Now, Seiko movements, you know, it can be hit or miss, but obviously what you're paying for in this particular watch is the upgraded movement, and you're seeing that in the time grapher. All right, so we've seen the lume. It is outstanding. We've seen the time it's keeping. It's outstanding. Basically, it's almost meeting METAS certifications in a 6R35. The sapphire crystal, the case, the band. Let me go ahead and put it on the wrist so we can take a look at it real quick and see how it looks on a 6¼ inch wrist. But before I do that, just a real quick wrist check. I've got my Squale 1521 on. I absolutely love this watch. I've done a review. I'll make sure I put that down in the comments. And it's on a Zulu Divers Tropic, which I think is probably one of the best Tropic bands you can get. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. I have the King Turtle on a Zulu Diver strap also. So let me pop this off and pop the King Turtle on, pop the Willard on. We'll see how it looks. Okay, there it is on my 6¼ inch wrist. You can see what, you know, with that lug width of only 46 millimeters, you can see it can fit a very small wrist very, very comfortably and not look huge, even though it is a, you know, over 40, like 41, 42 millimeters in a case size. I think it fit. These have always worn very, very comfortably and looked very, very nice. I'll make sure that there's some outside shots and some pocket shots and sun shots. I'm holding the bottom because Matt has a much larger wrist than I do. And I'm not going to resize this just for this video, but you can see how well that fits on the wrist. There's no overhang on that lug to lug. It's absolutely fantastic. I think this is a gorgeous wearing watch. I love the green. I'd have to see the black next to the green to make my final decision. But I know if I was asked the wife, she would say green, because she said I have enough black watches as it is. But can you never have too many black watches? I mean, they're just gorgeous in themselves. So let's go ahead and pop this off the wrist. Well, there you go, folks. There's a in-depth look at the the Seiko SPB153J1 Captain Willard. Definitely go check out Apocalypse now if you've never seen it. I can't believe anybody might not have seen it. You can see the reference to this watch. I think this is a fantastic watch. Let me know what you guys think if you have this in the collection. So let's go ahead and pop back over to the studio for my final thoughts, and we'll wrap up this review of this outstanding, gorgeous Seiko Captain Willard reinterpretation by Seiko. All right, folks, there you go. There is a look at the Seiko SPB153J1 Captain Willard in the green version, green dial, green bezel, but with the metal bracelet on it versus the black rubber strap that it comes on. You can see it's very, very versatile. see, I'm a little biased in the sense that I love Seiko. I know some of their watches have gotten kind of pricey and they've kind of gone away from the norms. But when it goes to the classics of the catalog of Seiko, I think the Willard is phenomenal. I think the Turtle is phenomenal. I think that whole line is phenomenal. The more I've held this watch, the more I've fallen in love with this watch, and I actually like it better than my King Turtle on just a few factors. The cleanliness of the dial. I like that smooth dial, the non-granated dial. I like the non-cyclops, just the date. I like the beveled edge of the sapphire glass. I'm not bothered by the aluminum. Could they have put a ceramic in there? Sure, but I think they were trying to probably go for a little more towards the closer to the original. I like the crown guard setup better. I like that it's protected better. I think those key little items are fantastic, and I do like the 6R35. I think it's a fantastic movement, and it's obviously one of the things you're paying for in the higher price is the more upgraded movement. That 70-hour power reserve. I love 70-hour power reserve over 40-hour power reserve. So those are some of the things you're paying for. You're not getting ceramic bezel, but you're getting a much better movement in the 6R35 than you are in the 4R36. So let me know what you think. Do you have a Captain Willard? Is it one that you would recommend that I buy? Do you give me a thumbs up? Do you have the King Turtle? Which would you choose? Put it down in the comments. Would you take the King Turtle, or would you take it with the Captain Willard? Price being out of the equation here. Obviously, there's a price difference between $500 and if you're going by suggested retail, $550, $600 for the King Turtle and $1,300 for the Willard. Taking the price out of the equation, which one would you prefer? You tell me which one you think I should get if I'm gonna pull the trigger on one. I just think it's a fantastic watch. So hey, again, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for everybody for subscribing. The channel's growing, and it's all because of awesome people like you. Thanks for everybody in the last contest. Congratulations to you again, Boogeyman 3561, I think that's what it was. Obviously, I hope you really enjoy those watches. Again, we'll do another giveaway when we hit another milestone. But thank you again, folks. Thank you again from this bottom of this old combat vet's heart. It means everything to me that this channel is growing, and it's all because of you and the interactions I have with you. Cool, just awesome fans from all over the world, people from Australia, England, Canada. I've talked to people everywhere, and I'm appreciative. Hit that subscribe button, please, if you're new to the channel. Help this channel grow. It costs you nothing, but it helps the channel grow. Give us that big thumbs up, because YouTube and then algorithm, it's all about the likes. It's all about the subscribes. It drives those views, and it pushes it out to more like-minded watch people like us. So again, thank you. Have a blessed weekend. As always, stay safe, stay honorable, do the right thing, treat others as you'd want them to treat you, because you just don't know the battles that others are fighting. And again, thank you, and I wish you all a great, happy weekend. Stay safe, and as always, I'm diving into watches, and I'm out.